All right, are we live? Are we live? We're live. Oh, hey, what's good, peoples? Oh man, it's been a hot minute.
Have to have the latest Sony camera and
Hello,
tags?
hello.
You got it. Need the new MacBook Pro.
Let me make
It's
sure my
yours.
computer
Got a
audio is
supersonic
actually
high
off.
def
It is not.
telescope.
All right, there we go. How's everybody been? Oh my God, it's been like a month or two, I think, at this point. It's been a hot minute. Hello, welcome. I'm going to tweet out the stream real quick before we get into it. If you're not aware, we're going to be talking some spoilers. So if, if you didn't watch the Star Wars Force of Evil finale, now might be a good time to get out ASAP. Oh my God, so many people coming in. Hello. How long will it be? I don't know. There's no real set time. Say at least probably an hour or so. Most likely. Let me just tweet it out real fast so all the rest of the peoples know. Talking about that Star finale. Come hang and cry with us. I don't think I'm actually gonna cry on camera. But if you wish to cry, please by all means, feel free to do so. Not that I'm happy you're crying, but there's no shame in it, is what I'm trying to get at. All right, we are in there. Looks like someone's theory was right. What theory was that? Because I'm not actually sure which theory you're referring to. All right. Let me retweet it on my personal Twitter also. Sorry. Just got to get it out there. Yeah, that episode was pretty crazy. First off, before we actually get into the episode itself and the details, because I have a lot of thoughts. What did you guys think? Like, what are your general, overall opinions on what happened? Why is there a server error? What's happening? What? Hold up. There we go. Did you guys like it? I know it's been kind of mixed generally. I saw some people not super digging it. So I'm curious what you guys think about how everything went down. All right, let's retweet that. All right, we're good to go. Yeah, what'd you guys think? Underwhelming, unsatisfying, rushed, disappointed with very end, unsatisfying, emotional, too fast, love it, so emotional. It's not over. It's over for all, for all intents and purposes. It's pretty much over. There's really not much left that we could really expect at this point, sadly. But yeah, it's over. It's basically over. Unfulfilled, rush, meh. Okay, got some interesting division here going on. Mina's ending was kind of, I didn't dig Mina. So all right, let's get into it. It looks like most people actually thought it was rush, which I'm somewhat surprised. Not that I disagree per se, but I thought it would be a little more towards the positive end. But it seemed like a lot of you guys are kind of like a little shaky on it. So let's get into the actual episode. I'm not gonna talk about every single little tiny detail, but for starters, I will say, and this was a concern for me from also spoilers. By the way, again, if you're not ready, don't come in. There's going to be spoilers. Obviously, if you read the title, you should probably know that. But just in case anyone's just wandering around the interwebs randomly. Get out. If you haven't seen the finale, go watch the finale. Go get the Disney app. Whatever you got to do, do that. All right. So, yeah, the first thing I will say, this was a concern of mine for weeks now, is that this finale was only 22 minutes. I think this should have easily been an hour-long time slot for sure. I thought they could maybe pull it off initially, but like after the previous episode before this one, Tavern at the End of the Multiverse, I was like, like it. I feel like they're not gonna be able to wrap everything up. So I do agree that it did seem a little fast. I didn't necessarily have a problem with most of the things that actually happened on paper. I just think it went so quick that I didn't really feel the weight of it, if that makes sense. Like I didn't feel like, oh man, this is happening. It felt more like, all right, let's go. You know, that makes sense. Yeah, they should have made it longer. So I don't know. That's probably a network thing, most likely. But well, let's get in the episode. Let's get in the episode. We can talk about the timing and pacing and stuff, in a bit. But yeah, we just dove right into it. Marco got the wands. So this pudding thing. So Star is trying to do the magic, break the magic, I should say, kill the magic, and it's not working. And she starts losing herself. And apparently the pudding, this whole time, Glossaryck's pudding was his snack of choice. Apparently this whole time, pudding is actually what keeps you focused. Which I love that reveal. That's a great reveal after so many years of the pudding actually being important. It actually turns out that it was, or not important, but that being like a running joke for Glossaryck, it actually turns out that it was important, which is, I love that a lot. But did we see, and I don't think we did, just remind me, did we actually see if Glossaryck gave Marco the pudding? Like he said that Glossaryck gave him the pudding, but like did we see that happen? Was that on screen? I don't think that was on screen. Was that on screen when he was given the pudding? Because if not, I kind of have a problem with that personally. No, okay. That bothers me. Someone said no, he gave it to Marco the last episode. Okay, he gave it to the last episode. Okay, someone's saying we didn't see that. Didn't see that. No. No. He did not receive the pudding on screen. Okay, see, that bothers me. That's actually the second time. So this is the first thing that kind of annoyed me. I love the pudding reveal a lot. I think the pudding reveal it's funny. It's a good reversal. It's a good twist because the pudding was just a joke for so many years, and it's actually the one thing they needed to stay sane in the realm of magic. I like that a lot, but I think that they should have shown that on screen. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Like he just has all this pudding, and it's like, well, when did that happen? Feels like they put it in quickly because they forgot. I don't know if they would. I don't think they would have forgotten something like that. I think it's just something because they did this before this season actually, with the beach day photo. It was like this new major big plot device where Star got the beach day photo from Father Time, but we never saw that happen. So it just, from the audience perspective, it just kind of came out of nowhere. And I'm cool with stuff happening off screen, but like big plot points, I feel like you really should show it, like somehow. You know, that kind of, I don't know. I don't like that. I feel like that's just really there was no setup for this pudding, like for Marco to have this pudding on hand the same way there was no setup for Star to have that beach day photo, and it became such a big deal. That kind of bothered me a little bit. Last episode was a pudding before Star goes in eye, but we didn't see him get the pudding. Apparently, I could go back, but I don't think he gives them the pudding before Star goes in the eye. Okay, you know what? We're gonna check this. We're gonna fact check this. Hold on, let me see. Let's see, because I don't think that's actually what happened. Let's see. What was the episode? Tavern and the Multiverse. Okay, we're gonna play that episode. All right, so gets in the pudding before she goes into the eye. Ah, okay. See, the issue though is that it doesn't seem like it's a thing really. Okay, so there is pudding, but there's not a whole, like, he had a jacket full of pudding. Like, where did, how so you saw the pudding, like, they kind of, okay, so I see what they were trying to do here. I definitely see what they're trying to do, because they zoomed in on the pudding specifically, like, hey, pudding, there's pudding here, but like, it was such a nonchalant moment that I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't remember it. But he also said Glossaryck is the one that gave him the pudding. Like, that was not Glossaryck. See, it's not in here anywhere, I don't think. No. Let me see. Is it like in the background? No. So it's, again, it's not like it's a plot hole or anything. Like, I can accept that it happened, but I wish they would have emphasized it more. Like, made it more like a joke, like Glossaryck's just like throwing cups of pudding at Marco or something. He's like, what are you doing? Like, just as a joke, just like really run the joke home, and then it would have like seemed more natural, I think, personally. That's how I would have done it. So I wish they'd emphasize that more. So it's not quite like the beach day photo, but it's adjacent. It's similar. Are you really butthurt and nitpicking over this pudding? I don't think it's nitpicking. I think that's, if you're gonna introduce something that keeps the heroes from losing, it needs to be something that makes more sense, I think. Or not makes more, it made sense, but I think it should have been set up more. That's not a huge deal. Like, it isn't a big deal, but I think it's a little more than nitpicking, because I feel like it affects the way the plot moves. Because that was a huge way that completely is how they were able to do what they did in the first place. It was because of the pudding. So if you're gonna have a plot device that's that important, I feel like it needs to be more well established. Yeah, Janica dropped dead in the RP. Yeah, so this is Mina's like last stand. These two just gave away all the info. That would probably bother me in normal circumstances, but because these two are actually notoriously kind of stupid, it actually made a lot of sense. That was actually funny. Also, rest in peace, Quirky. We didn't get to talk about my boy Quirky. Rest in peace. Pour one out for Quirky. Let's get some F's in the chat for Quirky. We're gonna have a lot of F's in this stream today, because we got a lot of respects to pay. But respect for my man Quirky, because we didn't talk about the last episode. So rest in peace, Quirky. But yeah, Mina's got her army, and she's just ready to go in to the magic fountain, whatever. Oh wow, a lot of F's for Quirky. Jeez. So she tries to do the magic, and she needs help with Eclipsa. This Marco Tom fight was really cool. Like, I like that Marco was trying to use star spells, but it wasn't working, because it's not his spells. So I like the touch that he kind of just made up his own spells. Like, this is his stuff. I like that a lot. That was a cool touch. Tom being stuck here really didn't have any bearing on anything, other than him getting stabbed, I guess. Marco getting stabbed. We'll talk about that. I guess that was mostly the point. But Tom being here really wasn't huge. Like, they could have just had the unicorn stab him. Also, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god! Like, how is he not dead? Like, he got impaled. Wait, hold up. This man got impaled by a horn. Like, huh? Excuse me? Got absolutely... Oof. Look at that! Oh my god! That's a Disney cartoon! How? Jeez. That's insane. So we skipped through here. So I really like. We finally get to see Eclipse's butterfly form. She looks very buggy with her eyes. I don't know what it is, like more so than Moon and Star. But Glossaryck. So basically, Glossaryck was planning for this the entire time. Glossaryck was always the good guy. He was able to train Meteora. Meteora was like the last factor so they could actually get this magic to be done. Although I'm not sure how she does the whispering spell because she's not speaking English. she can't talk. So I guess she just does it in her head. I don't know. But I guess that's what Glossaryck meant by the magic is in good hands, because Meteora was like the last factor they needed to use the whispering spell to make it spread as fast as it did. So that was pretty cool, which is ironic because magic is in good hands basically means magic is gone, like essentially. So that was pretty cool. Thanks for this. I needed it. Yeah, we all needed it. Anytime. It was a magical impale. Yeah, I know it was a magical impale, but it's like, oof. Like, I know he wasn't technically like bleeding or anything, but it's like, geez, man, that's insane. So Mina, I just gotta go on record. I think Mina is probably my least favorite villain in the series. I think Toffee's still the GOAT. Toffee's still number one in my book. Mina, I liked the idea of her backstory. She was a peasant and she got kind of taken advantage of. My voice cracked. Kind of taken advantage of by Solaria, but she was just like, I'm fine with her being weird. I just didn't care about her. I don't know. I just didn't really. It didn't resonate with me. Like all the other villains, like I guess you could kind of count Eclipse as a semi-villain for a time, but like it was more of a fake out. Meteora was a good villain. I liked Meteora a lot. But I don't know. Mina just wasn't flowing for me personally. Surprise. Yeah, I miss Toffee because Toffee just had that demeanor and a mysterious backstory, and like you kind of understood his reasoning, and you understand Mina's reasoning too, but she's so wacko that it kind of like takes away from it. Personally, any season 5 hope? No. This is it. I could maybe see a book or comic, but we'll get into that soon. So, also have another question: how did all the other queens get here? This is really cool, by the way. I like seeing all the queens, especially if you read the Book of Spells. Definitely read the Book of Spells if you haven't, because this makes the scene a lot cooler than it already is. Because you actually know all these characters, which is really cool. But do we know why exactly the queens showed up? Like, how do they just? Do the ghosts just live in the realm of magic, or is it? Like, I don't understand. I don't know how that works. Exactly. Maybe I may have missed something there, but I don't understand how the queens were there. Not that it really matters, because it's not like it was like some big Deus Ex Machina thing. Like it didn't actually change anything. It was more just symbolic, I think. We got a cool, actually interesting moment with Moon and her mom. Which was nice, and with Comet, and we saw Eclipse with Solaria kind of just blocking her out. That was cool. Never question magic. I guess magic summoned them. Okay, so it's magic. It's butterfly things. I guess that's all you need to know. Maybe there's something in the Book of Spells that explains it, but it felt kind of random. Like there was no real explanation. All right, so Mina comes in, and she's about to body them, and she actually gets pushed or kind of stopped by Solaria, which was actually really cool dramatic irony, or she was about to at least. It was more of a glare. I guess she didn't actually get the unicorn to attack her, but it was cool to see Solaria actually working with Star and them, and then Mina kind of questioning her sanity. But she just got mauled by a horse. Like, huh? Like this villain was built up for a while, and just kind of like they didn't actually do anything to stop her. She just kind of got hit by a unicorn. This was awesome. I love this. This was I'm living for Marco surfing on Tom. That was sick. something from the book would make sense because there weren't any queens from the old book, even though they're that's true. But yeah, Mina just got bodied. Yeah, I loved Solaria accepting Meteora. That was a really great moment. Let's see if I can. This was great. This was a really cool moment. Love it. Loved it. Awesome. Again, I don't know where the ghost came from. I'm still kind of confused. Glossaryck is all right. Let's get some F's in the chat for Glossaryck. He knew this was coming, and he wanted this the whole time, and yet he went for it. This is F's in the chat for Glossaryck. Glossaryck is a good guy. He was not chaotic neutral. This was always his plan. Stop the magic because it's just too dangerous and crazy. And he was plotting. He was sowing little threads, planting seeds throughout the whole series. It was a really dope moment. I liked Glossaryck's send off a lot. He finally said he's proud of Star. He finally gave her some credit. The feelings. I'm guessing he was just really hard on her and weird because that was just the way it needed to go, like more or less, you know. Like I love it. He basically sacrificed himself. Glossaryck is in a way kind of the true hero because he planned all this the whole time, and he knew he was gonna die. Like that's awesome. I love that moment. Finally gave Star her credit. That was awesome. Very satisfying. And here we go with this. Oh boy, this was also very gut wrenching, man. No. Oh man, that was rough. That was super rough. They got cleaved apart briefly, and then they got cleaved back together, sort of, which is insane. I love it. I love that they both like dove in to do the same thing. Like that was crazy. That was really awesome. Then this weird trippy thing happens. Okay, so here's my theory on how this works. So obviously we know at the end Mewni and Earth combine into one thing. So I'm guessing because it seems like everything gets sent back to the proper place after the magic is destroyed. Like Star gets sent back to Mewni automatically. Marco gets sent back to Earth automatically, and like all the other characters get sent back to their dimensions automatically. Like Kelly, I'll get back to Mina in a second. Kelly gets sent back to her dimension. I forget the bird guy's name. I apologize. He gets sent back to his dimension. Like so, everyone got sent back to where they belong automatically. So Star and Marco, because they were in the realm of magic, they essentially were acted as portals to their respective dimensions because they were both getting sent back to where they belong. Talon, yeah. They were both getting sent back to their proper dimensions in the realm of magic, which caused this rift. Does that make sense? I don't know if that actually makes sense. You think the relationship felt forced? Interesting, Tommy. So I never felt like it felt forced personally. It just happened fast. It just built very fast. Like it always was. They were clearly building towards this the whole series. Like it was very obvious. Like Starco was endgame, but it just happened very fast. I don't think we really got to sit back and enjoy and like let it simmer, you know, it like their relationship, if that makes sense. Yeah, Mewni and Earth got cleaved, yeah. Their unbreakable bond combined the dimensions and brought them together. It's something like that. I like to take it more literal because I usually don't like, oh, my love made this thing happen. Like, I usually would prefer. And I guess I don't actually know because there's no explanation, which I wish they, again, this is another reason why this episode probably should have been 2 episodes long. Because I think we really needed an explanation for how this whole thing happened. The relationship lasts for a day on screen. Yeah, I mean, basically. Even though we know as the audience it's deeper than that. like we know that it's been building up to this forever. It felt like we didn't get to enjoy it enough, I think. So Marcus cheek marks. Yeah, so I think it's just because humans are technically human, I think the cheek marks literally are just like they happen when exposed to great amounts of magic, because all the cheek marks disappeared once the magic was destroyed. So I think it's just exposure to magic, like a lot of magic, specifically the wand magic is like what causes it. And that's why Festivia, who was not actually Mewman, technically, or was not Mewman, was not like actual royalty and technically wouldn't have been born with the cheek marks, she was technically able to get cheek marks anyway, even though she wasn't part of the butterfly family. How is Ponyhead flying? I don't know. Some sort of weird physiological thing that has to do with pony heads, I guess. It's not magic that causes her to fly. Clearly. She just knows how to float. Yeah, it's part of their science, exactly. Yeah. So I think you could interpret this as, oh, their love created rifts in the dimensions, or you could interpret it as because everyone gets sent back to their dimensions automatically once the magic is destroyed. Because they were in the realm of magic when the magic was destroyed, they got sent back, but them getting sent back caused the portal to happen to send them back. If that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. I really hope we get a deeper explanation at some point, but as of right now, we don't have one. So yeah, the cheek marks are gone. It's kind of weird. Something about Star is jarring without the cheek marks, even though she looks exactly the same. Mina is just done. She's done. But what's interesting is she's not a psycho anymore. Or I mean, she is a psycho. I'm sorry. I expected her not to be a psycho anymore, but she still is a psycho. But she left off on a weird note. She didn't actually, like, she lost, but she didn't technically lose. And also, like, she said that she planted ideas in people. Like, so even if she doesn't do anything, someone else will, is what I was getting from that. And she gets, she has a new recruit. So that was a weird note to end on. I feel like I want to say that this is setting up something. I think Mina's not done. I think the ideas Mina sparked isn't done. I don't know what that means for the series because the series is over. We're not getting another season. It's not happening. So maybe they'll do like an Avatar type situation where they'll, have a comic book series or maybe another book of sorts, sort of like an epilogue, like the Book of Spells or the Guide to the Multiverse or whatever, but like as a sequel. New series starring Marco's kid taking the throne. I don't know if that's going to happen either. Is there like even really a throne? Like, I mean, we don't really know about what's going to happen now that they're combined. So Ponyhead's still alive. I'm sure a lot of people are sad about that. I'm cool with it. We got a nice little epilogue for Talon and Kelly. And now, so we have confirmation that all of the magical high commission, they're actually dead. Darren is a savage, and they made a joke out of it, like, which granted they kind of sucked. They were kind of bad, I feel like we could have seen them a little more being bad. I'll get to the ending in a second. We're almost there, but I wish we could have seen them being bad because I almost kind of felt sad for them in a way. But Hekapoo was actually down for it. She literally at the beginning was like, "Yeah, do it, whatever, open the portals." Like, screw it. I'll just whatever. Kill the magic. It's more trouble than it's worth. So Hekapoo's actually like low key kind of a hero in a way too, because she basically sacrificed herself for what she thought was right. So more F's in the chat for Hekapoo. Less F's for Romulus and Omnichassis. But definitely some F's for Hekapoo. She's the goat. She's the waifu. She thick. She beautiful. Definitely some F's for after Haku. So we actually lost. Like I gotta hand it to Darren and the team, because it's very rare that you see a cartoon sacrifice like major characters like that. Like I don't even Avatar really didn't do that to that extent, at least. They kind of did. But this, I mean, we lost. All right, we lost Quirky. Rest in peace, Quirky, my boy Quirky. Pour one out for Quirky. We lost Quirky. We lost Omnitraxis, Romulus, Hekapoo, and now Glossaryck. Like that's a lot of characters, of which were like at least somewhat protagonists. Glossaryck mostly, and then sort of Hekapoo. But that's pretty big. That's actually pretty big. Paladins of Voltron, yeah, Voltron did that too, but that was like, I mean, that was one character. Big character, but and also Voltron's like a little more mature in tone, so it made more sense. Like I'm talking like cartoony Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network stuff. Like it's very rare that they actually. Oh, Ronaldo would be dead too. Yeah, that's right. Ronaldo would be dead. Lekman's been dead. But yeah, I mean, they killed off a lot of people this episode. I'm actually impressed. That takes a lot of guts. And I guess they could get away with it because it's not like they're human. They're made of magic, so they just kind of get destroyed off screen because the magic's gone. That's actually pretty cool. I actually like that. That was. It showed that there were some consequences for what happened. And Doop, rest in peace, Doop. Yeah, that means all star spells are gone. Like, they're just dead. Like, all the narwhals, like, everything. Spider with a top hat, they're dead. They're actually gone. Like, that's crazy. They just killed off a bunch of, like, lovable, memorable characters. Like, and we didn't even get to see it. We didn't even get to see it happen. They just straight up got Thanos. That's crazy. That's awesome. I love it. It shows that there was a lot of consequences. Baby's gone. Baby's another one that's dead. I'm pretty sure Baby's made of magic. Like there's a lot of deaths. Like what? Crazy. Spider with top hat would be dead. Spider with top hat, it's a spell. It's a spell. Is Father Time dead? I don't know because it's Father Time. Well, I guess he wouldn't be, right? Because he controls the flow of time. Time is still moving. Like I don't think Father Time is magic. Like he's magical to us as regular people in the real world, but I don't think Father Time counts as magic technically because he just kind of is part of the universe in a sense. If that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Durok, you just said the exact same thing I just said. So I don't think that really works. The puppies. The puppies gone. Wait a minute, no, not the puppies. Did Tom lose his powers? I don't think. Did we see his powers? I actually don't remember. Because Tom, I mean, you could argue like how Ponyhead can still float. I feel like Tom's like powers are part of his science, not magic per se. So he might still have his powers. Laser puppies are gone. That's tragic. That's actually really dark. Like I feel like we should have like marinated on the weight of how many people died because of this. Like that's actually pretty crazy. I feel like because again, that's another reason I feel like this episode should be an hour. Is again, it's not what happened per se. It's just like I wish I had more time to like take it in and like let it soak. You know? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Yeah, the puppies were a spell. Puppies are dead. This Disney Channel show just killed a bunch of puppies. So yeah, we don't get another moment with Mariposa. and Meteora, really. Although we do get basically confirmation that they're gonna be able to grow up together, which is good. But we don't get another. I thought they were building up to something with Mariposa. I don't know what the point of making her a girl was. Like, that wasn't really a necessary twist. It didn't change anything, unless you could argue that it made them like have a sisterly bond, her and Meteora, in the future. Like, maybe. Does it remind you of Samurai Jack ending? No, and I'll get to why in a second. Yes and no. So this is a great moment. We got some Janna closure. Janna's, calls Marco her friends. That was cool. That was a nice, touching moment. And she snaps herself to death for 60 seconds. She basically Thanos'd herself. She literally snapped and everything. That's actually amazing. That's actually amazing. So shout out to Janna. Rest in peace, Janna, who died for 60 seconds. Get some 60-second Fs for Janna in the chat. So Janna technically died this episode, even though she's fine. We got Jackie with the girl. I'm loving it. I'm digging this couple. I'm a fan of this couple. So the portal's in the sky again. I'm mixed about the portal thing. It's cool. I really like the idea. That was actually a really cool shot. Oh my god, that was so dope. Wait, she's running through the forest. This is actually really dope. Oh, that's dope. That's a wallpaper right there, boy. That's sick. Oh my god, that's so feely. That's so good. Ludo's just chilling. I like how we got something with Ludo. Like, I was kind of debating if Ludo was gonna come back or not. But it seems like he's kind of just given up his quest to be a bad person, and he's just chilled out. He's chilling. He's chilling with Dennis, and they're having fun. He even asked Star to play basketball with him. Like, I love it. That's good redemption. He basically got redeemed, which I'm cool with. Ludo wasn't done justice either. I see what you're saying. I like this little moment, but I see what you're saying. I do wish we got a little more Ludo. But they probably didn't have time to fit it. But I could definitely see why you would say that. Let's see. Yeah, so we get all the school people. This was never explained. So he basically hinted that he was actually the guy in Mewni also. Like, okay. I guess we just have to just accept that. Yeah, so we got Founds and Ferguson, we got Starfan. We got a nice little send off for them. That was nice. Oh my god, the dog park again. Good times. Going through the corn maze, got the rats rather, and then it explodes. And now the dimensions are fused. There's dragon cycles and palm trees and Aurora Borealis and cars and unicorns and monsters and humans and humans and goats and school buses, mermaids. But I mean, there's just everything. It's actually kind of insane. Like, everything's just all over the place. So now Mewni and Earth are one big thing. The dimensions have combined and they've been cleaved together. Star and Marco can now be together. And that's it. That's the show. Oh, we got a super chat. Who's that? Hey, thank you so much, Ruby Stone, for the $1.99 super chat. I appreciate it. That episode was just kind of short-lived. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a second. Definitely gonna get that in a second. So we got a nice little moment. So that's it. That's the show. That's the show. That's it. I actually didn't watch the full credits. That's it. Star is over. Star is over. It's over. I'm emotional. So, out of curiosity, what did you guys think of the finale? Did you guys like it or did you not like it? Now we can talk about the nitty gritty, what was missing, what we would like to see more of, anything else that happened or didn't happen. Worse than Voltron. I don't know about that. Felt rush. No kids at the end. Need Starco babies. That would have been cool. I didn't need that to happen. Like, that's not like I'm not gonna deduct points for no Starco babies, but that would have been a cool like fandom thing. Hated it. Felt rushed. Was short. Should have been an hour special. I definitely agree. It should have been an hour. Pretty rushed. Definitely left open a little bit. Should have been an hour premiere, definitely, or finale. Technically not a premiere. We needed that to happen. It should have kissed. Yeah, I didn't need the kiss. We already saw them kiss, and this moment, just them being together, it was like enough, personally, for me. A lot of loose ends. Okay, so I actually saw a Reddit post that went through all the lingering questions. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, I could just go on the computer. That might make more sense. Yeah, I could definitely see why. How do I go to my saved post? I actually don't know how to go to saved. You can tell I use Reddit all the time. Saved. There we go. Okay. So this is a post of unanswered questions. I don't think we're gonna get a spinoff. As far as like a spinoff TV series, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think we're getting like an epilogue series. I don't think we're getting a Mariposa series. I don't think we're getting a TV series. I think Darren is gonna move on to something else. And I don't know if Star was quite big enough for Disney to want to keep going. Like, it was big, and obviously that's no statement on how great the show was. But I don't know if it was quite big enough for Disney to want to do a spinoff or anything like that. So I'm assuming we're not getting a spinoff series. So just don't expect a spinoff TV series. Do not expect a secret season 5. It's not happening. A TV movie, nah, probably not. That's a little more likely than a season 5 or a spinoff, but I would not bet on it. Would not bet on that. Like all the kingdoms are connected to each other. Yeah, that was really cool. Would have liked a bit of an epilogue. Yeah, I agree. Granted, I don't need an epilogue. Like, I get what the ending was trying to say, but there are definitely some things that should have been explained. Can we ask? I mean, you can ask for a movie. I mean, if you guys want a movie, I mean, go on Twitter, say you want a movie, email Disney politely. I mean, if the demand is there, they might do it. This is how things get done. That's how, Sonic is getting redesigned in the live action movies because people said they didn't like it. So, like, sometimes if you're loud enough and you demand something enough, it could happen. It could happen. Darren wanted a season 5. I don't know. Did someone say that? I didn't say that. Not that I know of. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. But I believe Darren went into this knowing it was the last season, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, she wanted a 5th season, but season 4 rule. Yeah, 4-season rule. Yeah, with Disney shows usually. Disney cartoons specifically. Interesting. Mina could have been the season 4 finale, then something bigger for season 5. That'd have been cool. Yeah, I don't think we're getting a spinoff. I could see, like I said, I think I could see an Avatar-esque comic book series. Maybe a book, something like that. I don't think we're getting a spinoff. I just need to nail it down now. Probably not getting a spinoff. I don't want to say we're definitely not. You never know what might happen. But I wouldn't plan on a spinoff. I would just assume that this is all we're getting, and don't even assume a comic book series. Just assume this is it. It's done. Just assume that. Feel disappointed. I get that. Mina's like 300 years old. Yeah, I didn't really vibe with Mina. I don't think she was a strong enough villain. So what I would have done personally is, let's say they had the same time slots for all the episode. They had the same schedule. I would have. Let me actually look real quick, because if the final episode absolutely positively had to be 22 minutes, then here's how I would have personally done it. I would have, this is season 4. I think the Ponyhead show could have been sacrificed, most likely. There was more. The beginning episodes were fine. They were strong enough. Down by the river. No, that's relatively important. Find Spider Bites. Debatable. Out of Business. Okay. These two. I think Out of Business and Kelly's World should have been knocked out. That's what I personally think. Not that they were bad episodes. I enjoyed both episodes a lot. But I think for the greater purpose of the overall narrative of the season and the pacing, these two should have been sacrificed for episodes later on. They should have been basically moved over here towards the end. This way the finale had proper build up, and then the second to last episode before the finale would have felt more right. They could have fleshed out Star and Marco's relationship a little more. They could have explained the portal thing a little better than they already did. We could have kind of felt the weight of the characters dying a little bit more. Maybe explain the Queen's ghost thing. Maybe get a Mina flashback, something. I think I would have done that. Maybe sacrificed, like I said, the Ponyhead show as well. Give us like 3 extra episodes. So that's like a full like hour and a half time slot. Maybe not all at once, but like that would be an hour and a half time / an hour of time technically with commercials. So that'd be an extra hour, I think, is all they would have needed, if not less, maybe even 40 minutes is all they would have needed, I think, to make this final episode not feel as fast-paced, like too fast-paced, like it did. That's personally what I would have done. I don't know if you guys agree. That would have been so much longer. Yeah. They should bring back Toffee. I thought Toffee was coming back. It seemed like they were kind of hinting at that when Glossaryck said that killing Toffee may have been a mistake. I think he was just referring to the fact that killing Toffee meant that Eclipsa came back, which also meant that Eclipsa would be hated and there'd be a whole conflict there, and then Mina would come back. Like, I think he just understood that killing Toffee was a mistake, and also Toffee was trying to kill the magic, and it turns out Toffee was right. So that's also kind of what he meant. Like, you probably should just let Toffee kill the magic and do his thing. And that would have been it. That would have been the end of it. No more conflict. That's done. Granted, Toffee went about it the wrong way, but still. Can we get an S? Yeah, let's get some S's in the chat for a surprise. That's great. See you, Arcane Knight. Thanks for coming through. If it was 24 minutes, that didn't wrap up. I mean, it wrapped up things. It definitely wrapped up things. It just felt very fast. Mina died way too quickly. Not died, but she lost way too quickly, I think. She lost in a way that was very anticlimactic, considering how much she's been built up this whole season. I didn't like Mina's whole deal, really. I feel like I could have. I think she has a pretty sympathetic backstory on paper. But I wish we spent more time with her and got to know her a little more personally. But that's what I would do. I would get rid of the Out of Business and Kelly's World, replace it with 2 episodes that focus on the story a little more, and then maybe get rid of the Ponyhead show. Because, I mean, that does show that, like, the newer generation does kind of like Eclipsa. Like, there's a glimpse of hope. And it was, again, it's not that these episodes are bad. They're all good. But I think that it would have served the narrative more so, personally. This way we wouldn't have to really worry about all that stuff, Because most of the other episodes are still pretty focused on the actual plot. So, I don't know. I would have liked a little more flashback with Mina. And I would have liked just fleshing out the ending. That's the thing. The ending itself actually is pretty good. It is actually good ending. A lot of great moments, a lot of great ideas. I don't think it like I didn't feel it. Like it didn't feel big. You know, if that makes sense. It didn't feel big because it happened so fast, and I never got to take in the scope of it, even though it was big technically. Like Avatar: Last Airbender. I hate to keep bringing Avatar up. It's always the go-to reference. But Avatar, like the ending, Sozin's comment, like if you felt like, man, like this is it, like this is the end. And with this, it didn't feel like I almost felt it, like I wanted to feel it, but it didn't feel right. And I think that's because the finale was only 22 minutes. Personally. Still confused as to why Star is using magic in her tapestry. I think that's just symbolizing her getting rid of the magic. I think so. That's the idea I got out of it. Also, why was Marco not in the tapestry? If they're not going to be separate, is it because they were only showing Mewni? Like that was like the initial reaction. Like that was the initial outcome of destroying the magic. Like, I feel like her tapestry would have had the Mewni and Earth thing happen because she caused that. Like, that's actually a huge deal. Like, or maybe the tapestry, because it's magic, couldn't see past after it was destroyed, but that wouldn't make sense because after it was destroyed is what was shown in the picture. So, I don't know. I don't know why he didn't show up in that picture. That was very weird. Very strange. Honestly, everything fulfilled, but just wasn't slow and emotional enough. That's kind of how I feel. Hey, thank you so much, Gandalf the Grey, for the 199 super chat. A bit rushed, good show in the end. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think so. Someone asked me if I felt like Samurai Jack. With Samurai Jack, I felt like the ending not only was way too fast and like there wasn't enough closure on the other characters, it also it didn't feel like it made sense, but it just what happened, not only was it fast, but what happened wasn't satisfying. But with this, on paper, this episode is satisfying, but it wasn't slow enough. it just kind of happened. Like if you took what happened in this episode and stretched it out to like an hour, maybe an hour and a half time slot, I think it would have been a lot more satisfying. A lot more satisfying. I would have been like, dope, awesome, amazing, perfect. But it didn't hit satisfying, not because of what happened, but because of how it happened. If that makes sense. Tapestries weren't the ending. I think it was meant to be the queen's defining moment as ruler. Like Moon defeating Toffee wasn't the end of her story. Yeah, I could see that. It's just weird that Marco wasn't there, but I guess that was just a fake out. That's fine. That's fine. It needed the same treatment for the Toffee episode, Scott. Yeah, that's actually very good. Like the ending of the Toffee arc, which was, I believe, the beginning of season 3, right? Beginning of season 3, or was it the end of season 2? I forget. That whole thing, the battle for Mewni, that was beginning of season 3. That the battle for Mewni, like the way Toffee went out, yeah, like this whole arc. Let me see. This was Toffee. Yeah, it was like this area. Yes. Yep. Battle for Mewni. All of this, like this felt like a finale, you know, like this, like it was built up. There was tension. It was big in scope. The villain Toffee was really making some serious moves. Like it felt like everything was coming together very seamlessly, naturally, and it flowed. Because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes. Whereas, actually, I think even more than that, technically. Well, I guess not 7 episodes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes. So, yeah, that was a lot more. It flowed a lot more. Whereas if we look at season 4, the last 4 episodes, we had Cleaved, which is fine. Mama Star, like it was building, but they had too much to like wrap up because you had the Star and Marco plot, and you also have the magic plot, and you have, you have to get people on Eclipse's side, which I guess happened a little bit before that technically, but there was just a lot of pieces. There's a lot more pieces, I feel like. Why are we getting a Q? What wait, what? Wait, oh, Q's in the chat for Quasar. Okay. But yeah, it didn't feel that grand, and I think a big part of it is because Mina wasn't that strong a villain. Not that she necessarily needed to be though, because the conflict could have just came from having to destroy the magic, which would have been also fine, and didn't have to necessarily come from Mina herself. She could have just been the catalyst for having to destroy the magic. So maybe if they played along with destroying the magic a little more, that would have been a little that would have flowed a little better for me personally. But yeah, the battle for Mewni to me was like, ooh, man, personally. And I was in chat for a spinoff of Meteor and Mariposa. Get some double M's in the chat. But yeah, but Samurai Jack, I just didn't like what happened at the end, like straight up. So that's completely different. Like Star at the end of the day is still an amazing show. Great ride. And I feel overall like okay with how it turned out, even though I wish there was more time, But here's some unanswered questions. Some of these I don't actually agree with. There's probably even more. But I found this post earlier this morning. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I wish we could have spent more time on. Why did the painting of Alphonse the Worthy tell Marco about the Blood Moon Ball and push for him to go to it? That one's debatable. You don't really need an answer for that. Why did Toffee say Marco's a disappointment? That's a big one. And also, what was up with Marco's dream? Like, I'm trying to figure out the meaning. I guess it was just all about Star at that point. Like, I don't know. I would play it right now, but I don't want to get copyright strike. So, I don't know. Special definitely would have been great, and Tokyo. I think it's explained in the Book of Spells. Well, Alphonse himself is explained, but I don't think the picture telling Marco to go to the Blood Moon Ball specifically is actually explained. So, I don't think that's actually a thing. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope I said this right. Iobosa Romero. I hope I said that right. I apologize if I didn't. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Seth would have been a great season 4 villain. Yeah, that's another thing. If you read the Book of Spells, there was this big villain that they seemed to kind of be building up, which was Seth. And he seemed like he would have been really cool. Like, really, really cool. But we didn't get that, unfortunately. Again, maybe in a comic book series or something, but at this point, I don't think there's any point in that. So that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. But I remember Darren Nefsey saying that she wanted to end. She wasn't sure if season 3 was going to be the end. I believe it was season 3. So she was like, she had like a specific direction she would go if it were to end and how to wrap it all up. So I'm assuming that this may have been similar. If it's true that she wanted a season 5, which I'm not sure if that's true or not, it's possible that she decided to end it how she ended it based off knowing that season 4 was the end, knowing that she may not have been able to do everything she wanted to do with the story. I think that's part of why it felt very fast. But I'm sad we never got to see Seth. I'm actually very sad we never got to see Seth. I hope we get to see Seth. If you don't know Seth, look him up on the wiki, or if you have the Book of Spells, go check again. He seems very interesting. Would love to see him, but we didn't get him. Why didn't they have a funeral for Glossaryck? I mean, there's no time for a funeral. It just kind of, things were just happening. So there wasn't a funeral moment. There was no time skip, essentially. So that wouldn't have worked. How does Toffee know so much about the butterflies? Yeah, that's definitely a little questionable. Why is Mina the only Solarian warrior to survive hundreds of years? I think that's explained in the book. I had to double check. Why is Sebastian the only crow to survive? Yada yada berries. I don't know. Why was maybe wasn't eating yada yada berries? I'm not sure. Why was Glossaryck so cool about dying? That's obvious. It's because that's what he wanted. That was a sacrifice play. Like I said, some of these questions I don't really agree with, but I think that was obvious. Glossaryck just wanted to do the sacrifice play, get rid of the magic, and he was just happy that this was what was happening because he knew magic was causing a lot of trouble. Marco, A for Marco's even are in the chat. Yeah, Dumbo, I that was another thing. I mean, they brought up the magic arm as if it was something that was going to come back, but they just kind of abandoned it. Not a huge deal, but it just didn't end up happening. But yeah, we now know that Marco was never supposed to be some sort of pawn for the monsters, unless that was where they were initially going, and they just started to kind of change direction, which is also fine. But we know that's not a thing. We know he's not part Mewman, technically. Technically, humans are Mewman, so that wasn't actually accurate. But yeah, we just have nothing for Marco's arm. So rest in peace, Marco's arm. Let's see. We know Gloss sees the future. Why would he say magic good hands? Again, that just means that he was training Meteor to get rid of the magic or help get rid of the magic. Why did he take Meteor in time to meet Toffee specifically? What was his plan? Yeah, why Toffee specifically? I mean, I guess he just knew that Toffee was violent enough, you know? And that would also have served as more motivation for Toffee, essentially, because seeing the magic happen, like, as drastic as it did for Meteora, it would also serve as more motivation for Toffee. So Toffee would do what he did later on, which would cause Star to do what she did, which would cause this whole trickle-down effect of everything that ended up happening. So you could argue that's part of the reason why. But that's not a huge deal. Why did Meteor turn into a baby from Black Velvet Inferno? I don't know. What happened to Ludo's parents after liberating his siblings? Only asking, considering what he did for the Rat Baron. Yeah, I don't know. That's actually a good question, too. It's a minor loose end, but LP in the chat for laser puppies dying and being cute. Oh, Wise Group. Oh my God, thank you so much. That's insane. That's actually crazy. What became of Seth? Yep. What was his relationship to Toffee? How did Toffee arrive at the same soul-stealing magic Meteora had? Yeah, I guess that's a good question. What happened to Ludo's parent? Oh, we did that. Do Star and Tom know they may be distantly related to each other? Yeah, that's another thing. Like, they're kind of might be related if you read the Book of Spells. But not a huge deal, I guess, because they're not dating anymore, so that's good. Star read all Skywind's chapter, the only one she said she read in full detail. Why didn't she use Skywind's dimension-busting spell in finale? I mean, that's dangerous. If you read the book, if I remember correctly, that's actually a really dangerous spell, and also I don't know if that was necessarily needed for this thing. Does Star know how Quirky? Does Star know Quirky died? I mean, that's whatever. Quirky's not an important character. I don't think anyone's specifically worried about Quirky. What becomes of the Mewni monarchy? That actually is a good question. That again, that's not something that we necessarily need to know for the plot, but I would like to know. Definitely like to know. What was the deal with Marco's cheek marks? Again, we kind of talked about that earlier. Also, Marco stole the wand. Does that mean he too stole the monarchy too? Technically, yeah, I guess you could say that in a sense. Did they fix the Marco and Star age gap? I mean, he's technically not 30 or however old. So I think it's 30. Yeah. So I don't think that's really a problem. I don't even want to think about that. I don't know. What happens to Father Time? We talked about that. I think Father Time is just part of the universe. I don't think that's technically magic. Why the grim foreshadowing from Father Time that the toughest times are still ahead? Considering what we got, it seems that it was just to hype tension. Yeah. I mean, it was still very hard, but it was hard for like 5 seconds. You know, it wasn't actually like this big suffering that she had to go through. So yeah, that's a little weak, I guess. How does Star vs. Evils end compared to Gravity Falls? Oh, thank you so much, Stone Alice, the Stone Alice channel. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. I think Gravity Falls. I know some people had some issue with it, but I think Gravity Falls, again, it kind of just goes back to, does it feel like an ending? And Weird Mageddon definitely felt like an ending to me. I think it felt like it had more closure. I felt like it wrapped up in a way that didn't feel too fast. I know some people had a little bit of issues with it, but Gravity Falls had more closure. Cool says, yeah, I think Gravity Falls felt less rushed. I think rushed in an end that turned out to be quite sentimental. You talking about Gravity Falls or Star? Yeah, I think again because Gravity Falls' true finale was 3 episodes long, and Bill was built up for the whole series. I mean, granted, it's harder to say because Gravity Falls is also more condensed. It was only 2 seasons, where Star is this more grand thing. So I do think Gravity Falls left me feeling like, okay, it made me feel, I think, overall more satisfied only because of the way it was paced. Personally. Let's see. Does no magic mean no more stump? I don't think that's really important. Also, the princesses at St. Olga's, what happened to them? They have not appeared since season 3. That's a good question. Presumably they're chilling. I don't think that's a huge deal. Let's see. The specific circumstances and timeline surrounding the Shasta can be eaten by... Oh, the Shasta can be eaten incident. I'll say nothing more about it. Book references or clips. I have to check that again. I don't actually remember that. Interesting. Circumstances surrounding eclipses needing to use spell with no name for the first time. Right. See, I thought the spell with no name was the one that killed, or didn't kill Toffee, but was supposed to kill Toffee. I might be wrong though. Hegapoo has left the chat. Oh my god. DD the chat for Doop. Yeah, Hegapoo basically committed suicide in a sense. It's pretty dark. Honestly, I would have been fine if they just stuck with Toffee as the main villain for the rest of the series. Honestly, same. I really like Toffee a lot. And granted, I like the other plot points too. And again, it seemed like they were gonna bring Toffee back, especially with the flashback, like not flashback, but having Meteora go back in time to meet Toffee. Like it seemed like they're doing something with Toffee, but that just never happened. I don't know. I love Toffee. Toffee's dope. He's my favorite villain still, I think. Let's see. How did Toffee know how to corrupt magic? It's also a decent question. Circumstances surrounding Eclipse need to use spell. Oh, it did that. Why and how are total annihilation and spell with no name the same or implied to be the same? Okay, see that's where my confusion was too. I thought they were the same. Are they not the same? About magic. Do Ponyhead, Tom, and Globber lose their abilities? I mean, Ponyhead seems to float. So, again, I don't think abilities necessarily means magic inherently. Like it seems like magic because we're normal people in a real reality, but I think like monsters, Globgor being able to shapeshift, I think that's just part of his science. You know what I mean? I think Tom using fire and stuff, I think that's just part of his science. I think Ponyhead floating, that's part of her science. So I don't think that's technically magic. So he just showed up as a ghost in the realm and just nodded a star before fading. That'd have been a little weird. Because I don't know if Toffee necessarily deserves a redemption per se, but I don't know. Experiment H is for Hekapoo. How is the whispering spell created? Was that explained? That may have been explained in the book. I don't remember. It's been a while. I have to read the book again. Who is Supina the Strange? Why was she mentioned quite a bit in the last 2 different star-related books? I do remember that vaguely. If other things got shout-outs in show, why wasn't she given one? Like, say, when magic was being destroyed by previous queens. I don't know. First queen, we don't know no, we do know the first queen's name. It was, well, I guess we don't technically know her actual name, but we did meet her when Meteor and Glossaryck went back in time. So we did see it happen, and he went eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then he was like, "Here, Mo, this is your wand." So her name, I think, is technically Mo. So that's not really unanswered. Thank you so much, Wise Group Productions, again for the $2 Canadian dollars. Do you know the channel Cartoon Apocalypse collab? I am aware of Cartoon Apocalypse. I haven't watched a ton of stuff. Granted, I haven't been watching a ton of cartoon content in general for a little while. But I'd be possibly open to a collab. It's definitely a possibility. There are just questions. These are just questions that come to my mind. Okay, yeah. There's questions. There's most of these questions honestly don't need to be answered. Most of them, some of them would be nice, but most of them aren't that big a deal. My main thing is the arm, Marco's arm, what the dream meant, why Toffee said he was a disappointment. Like, I feel like there was more for Toffee that was supposed to be built up, but they just never got around to. Here's my hard read. I think Darren wanted to do a season 5, and I think she wanted to do a season 5 with Seth, and Seth would have tied more into Toffee's backstory. That's what I think. That's my hard read. I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's probably what happened. My theory and facts and missed answers. It was probably Glossaryck who's trying to. Yes, we basically said most of these things. Yeah, but it's a shame, man. I think it really deserved an hour, but we don't really know what happened internally. You know, it's possible that the episodes that I chose that I would personally get rid of in order to replace with something more substantial for the plot, it's possible those episodes would have ended up just like, it's possible Disney wanted the writers to do something that was a little more episodic, because at the end of the day, shows, especially kids cartoons on these networks, they're typically looking for like episodic stuff, and Star actually got very lucky with this, considering like they started off very episodic, like one at a time, nothing necessarily too connected, but it ended up becoming a lot more serialized. They don't really like too much serialized stuff, but I'm cool with what happened in the ending overall. I just wish it was a lot more time. I wish it was a lot more time. I actually would have thought it would be very interesting if we like a little more time with Star and Marco as boyfriend and girlfriend, and then they actually did have to permanently separate. Like, that would have been so tragically beautiful. Like, I would have actually liked to see that. Not because I hate Starco. Like, I'm glad that they're together. That makes me happy. But I think it would have had a lot of emotional weight if it was like, well, they're separated. Like, that would have absolutely broke my heart. Who is the person in the suit who attacked Mewni first? Who do you mean? Which Marco Dream? The Marco Dream, I'll show a picture of it. I don't want to show a clip because I'm not trying to get sniped. But the dream, this is like season 1, I believe. Like this dream. It's a nightmare more so. But the dream, like the red belt, because in the red blood, the blood moon. I mean, that obviously symbolized Star, but like, why is he... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Don't want to do that. Nope. Why is he in a locker and dead in a suit? Like, what does that mean? Like, it seemed like that was symbolizing something. Is there something that I'm not thinking of, maybe? Watch the dream backwards? Like to avoid copyright. Honestly, you'd be surprised how insane the copyright system is for YouTube. It's actually crazy. They might still detect it. Not even joking. They might still detect it. But yeah, it was red belt. Like, everyone's like moving on with their life, so he's like kind of obviously feeling insecure. I just don't understand what this means. What about Wander Over Yonder? I actually have not watched Wander Over Yonder. I know I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. I hear great things about it, but I haven't gotten to it. Beginning of the finale, the first soldier that attacked. Beginning of the finale. Oh. Wait, soldier that attacked. It's nothing. There's no soldier at the beginning. You mean like at the end when... No, wait. I think I vaguely know what you're talking about. Oh, it was like towards the beginning, right? This? Wait, not yet. Can't find it. Oh my god. Where are the soldiers? They're not there. Okay, yeah, I don't see it. I don't know if it matters though. I mean, they're all just Solarian warriors. It's like whatever. Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh, from the previous episodes. Oh, you mean like when he attacked the castle? I don't think it matters. He's dead, isn't he? Talking about in here to help who star fart in her rainbow ardor. Got it. Yeah, I mean, again, I think they're just random humans that Doug. I think they're just random humans that got turned into Solarian warriors. I don't think it really matters. It was more so just to fake it out because as the audience, we thought that Mina had more. It was just Mina, but we didn't know there was more. So it was more just a fake out, like to show, hey, there's more people. Like I don't think it really matters who it was. Not really. I wish there's other seasons this felt rushed. Yeah, I definitely. But it seems like that's kind of the general consensus. It seems like most people, most of you guys, and even on Twitter, Instagram, or not Instagram, but Reddit, like a lot of people feel like it was rushed, and I definitely can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Yeah, I don't think there's any other details here. Yeah, but what did you guys think? Or is there anything else that like was loose that I may have missed? Any like loose ends or details you would have liked to know more about? It would have been cool if they put like a Jackie lookalike here, like for the whole mermaid theory. You didn't talk about Spider with a top hat. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we talked about how everyone's dead. Like all the anything that's magic is actually just dead, which is again that's pretty crazy. That's pretty ballsy move. Like the implications of that for a Disney cartoon, like that's actually pretty dark. We actually got a lot of major character deaths, which is pretty big. It's pretty big. That's one thing I actually really liked. Is that we got consequences for everything that happens. Selena's secret. I actually don't remember that. I do not remember that. Because they made more questions in the last scene than answers. Well, yes and no. Like it's very clear what's happening. It's clear that the dimensions fuse together. Like that's fine. Which makes sense. But I just wish they explained the portal thing more. That was really my thing. Like I can get behind it in theory. I think I kind of know why it happened. I just wish they told us like outright why it happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we talked about Seth. Yep, we did that. We definitely talked about Seth. I wish we saw Seth on the butterfly farms. I like the new ones. Eclipse looks very buggy because of how her eyes are. It still doesn't really make sense. It almost does. Like okay, so the stabbing with the horn, like I'm assuming that's what caused it initially, but I don't think that's actually what happened because if you look, this like when they hug, like it creates that same portal, like it's the same colors and everything. So I don't actually think it was the stabbing. So, like, so what was the point of the stabbing? Like, was it caused by the stabbing? I don't know, because it's the same goop. Like, if we go to Echo Creek, like it's the same goop in British Tacos that caused, or is that just water? That might just be water, actually. No, I think that's the same goop. Yes, because the well is actually underneath British Tacos. So I'm assuming that's just the magic goop. And then he said I was stabbed by a unicorn, but then he's fine. So I don't really know what does anyone know exactly what the point of him getting stabbed was? Because I'm not really sure. What happened to Dojo? I don't know, Joe. I don't know, Joe. Yeah, I actually like Doop Doop a lot. The portal sending them to mention shoes. Yeah, I get that. That much is obvious, I think. The point was just drama. But what was the drama? I mean, they didn't even really spend time on it. Hold on. He got stabbed. He was already stabbed by that point. Like, they really lingered on it. That's my thing. Like, it seemed like it was going to be this thing that was going to cause something, but it didn't. Like, it was a whole thing. Like, oh boy. All right. Like, he looks down at it. It says purple, actually, and he just covers it up as if it's nothing. My theory is there was going to be another season. I think people are mad that the ending didn't seem like... Yeah, I can agree with that. It felt more like a season finale than a series finale. And I think, even though it technically works as a series finale, but I think... I feel like the stabbing was actually going to come into play with a plot point that we didn't actually get to see, because even when he wakes up, like, he's like, oh, I got stabbed, and then it's gone. So I feel like that was going to actually, like, be some looming presence eventually, but we just don't get to see it because the series is over. Dark magic and light magic creating and not destroying for once. Earth and Mewni was cleaved, yeah. It was cleaved, and then it was cleaved. Tom and Janet on a couple? No, I guess not. I guess they're not worried about that. I'm fine with that. It's whatever to me. Steven Universe season 5 finale felt like a series. Yeah, but even then, Steven Universe Change of Mind also felt very fast. Like, I feel like Steven Universe season 5 actually, like, wrapped up too easily. Personally, I feel like White Diamond got off way too easy. Like, I feel like that whole arc just happened too fast. Personally. Sorry, Marco, we're also cleaved and then cleaved. Disappear because the last used the magic to make the portal, but like how? I guess his stab wound went away because it was magic. I'm guessing. So actually, maybe it doesn't mean anything. Also, I guess the monster arm would just disappear. Actually, even if it like lived within him, that was a spell. The blood moon, I think, was just a foreshadowing, and also a fake out. That made sense. Oh, am I not close enough? Sorry about that. So I don't know. I feel mixed. Talk about wait. Marco got the hang of making his own magic. Oh, we talked about that actually. That was actually really cool. I like that part because he realized he had to use his own imagination, essentially, not just mooch off Star's ideas. Essentially. But yeah, I mentioned that I think the stab injected him with magic, which is why the baby unicorn makes the comment about Tom being one with magic. I don't know. It's hard to say. I really don't. But it made him one with magic? So did that cause the portal thing? Like, I'm confused. I don't know. Like I say, I wish we had more. Like, this is a time where exposition is actually very good. I don't know. I don't quite, like, I kind of get it vaguely, but I don't really get it. If that makes sense. I think Marco only survived that because it was magic or something. Pretty sure the stab from the universe was just the trailer, or the unicorn. I'm assuming it's probably autocorrect. Just for the trailer? No, they don't make things just for trailers. They make the trailer based off of the thing that's made. Mina went to the forest and that's it. Yeah, that was random. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, it seems like you guys are kind of not super feeling it. which is a shame because I think the team's super talented, and I think the show's still great. I wish they were given more time to flesh every detail out a little more. Hold up. Oops. Hello. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. But even the Tom Marco fight didn't, like, I feel like nothing really happened except him getting stabbed, but I'm not sure if him getting stabbed technically meant anything. I'm not sure. But overall, still generally happy with the series. Like, it's not like this whole season was just like, I thought the season was good. I actually thought the build up was really good. Like the whole tapestry thing, Marco not being there, I thought that was great. I just think that we needed at least an hour. I think we needed at least an hour. I really did. And I was afraid of this. I was really afraid of this, actually. Like, I was afraid that this was not enough time to wrap everything up. And I feel like I was right. Even though I'm technically happy with what happened, I just wish we could linger on it more for more emotional impact. Why was Tom left in Magic Dimension? Well, he couldn't get his seatbelt off, so that's how it initiated. But from a writing standpoint, I'm not sure if that did anything or not. I don't know. I'm not really sure for the plot. Yeah, I don't know. I like change your mind and Cleaved equally. Change your my/your not. Hey, I mean, I don't need to change your mind. You don't need to change my mind. This is just how I feel. Still love both shows. I think they're both still amazing, incredible. I would have liked to see things go a little differently in some aspects, but how did he consume magic? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. He probably just drank some of the corrupted water or something, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think I wouldn't normally say this. I think the show could benefit from a little more, actually, because not just because, it felt a little rushed this episode, but there are things that they actually have a lot they could work with. They've got Seth. They've got the aftermath of the dimensions fusing, like the whole royalty aspect, like how that's going to work, what the consequences of no magic are. Like, there's a lot they could do. Got Mariposa, got Meteora. Like, if there's a time skip, they could do that. If Star and Marco have kids in a time skip, they could do that. Like, there's actually a lot they could do, I think, to at least explain things a little more. They have to explain the portal thing a little better, I feel like. But hopefully we'll get that at least in an interview or something, or a book. Like, hopefully that's like one of those lore pieces that may not be necessarily obvious at first glance. Because like Kingdom Hearts has done similar things, but most of the time it's like there's still more left. So it's like, you might get an explanation later, but like right now I feel like we might not get an explanation. They were a spell from season 1? What? Wait, are you saying that Star and Marco were a spell from season 1, or something else? I might be reading that wrong. Oh, laser puppies are all magic. Okay, yeah. Yeah, laser puppies are dead. The puppies are dead. Confirmed. They should have shorts with the past queens. That'd be pretty cool. I don't think they really need it at this point because we have the book. But or some simple season finale, 2.5 hours, and the final finale only one. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it wasn't even one. It was a half. Really weird. Really weird. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that. I hope in the future networks can hopefully. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who made that decision. So, because sometimes the creators do make the decision, but I hope in the future our finales are like for Western animation. Traditionally, at least an hour long. I feel like that's a necessity, or at least like split up into certain parts. Because even if you split like the last episode, like Tavern at the End of the Multiverse or whatever, with this episode, if you split the last one and this one, it still doesn't quite flow, I don't think. So it should have absolutely had a Quasar Caterpillar. Yeah, do a Quasar Caterpillar spinoff. Sure, Quasar Caterpillar wasn't in a situation where she needed magic to survive. Oh yeah, that's. Well, does that affect her though? Technically, because it's like an alternate reality. So I'm not sure if that. Right? I don't know. They should have a comeback. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like I said, these internally, like, unless there's a lot of demand, like a lot of demand, and Darren wants to come back to it, then they might do a season 5. But it would have to be a lot of demand, and I don't think Star unfortunately has the fan base to demand that sort of thing. At least not yet. So I would not expect that. So just kind of have to accept it. Once the deal is done, once that contract is depends on the paper, that's basically it. You might as well call it a wrap. But I think that's it. I think I pretty much covered my overall thoughts on this finale. Felt a little rushed. It did, but overall I'm still happy with the show. I still think it's a great show. Still love the show. Thank you, Darren FC, the writers, the storyboard artists, musicians. It's been an adventure. It's been an adventure. Yeah, me too. Me too, Bracer. Does you have a different voice in the UK? That's weird. Oh yeah, we don't have a DVD. Do we have? Is there a DVD? I don't think there is. Evil DVD. No, there's not. Yes, that'd be dope. Maybe there'll be like some behind the scenes things or something, or some sort of commentary where they could explain things a little more. But yeah, guys, this is it. Ironically, we're not done with the Star content yet. There's actually some videos I would like to do based off the finale and what wasn't answered and what I would like to see possibly in the future. Like I said, I really hope we get some sort of comic series or something like Avatar did, because Avatar covered like the whole Zuko's mom thing and some of the aftermath of the war. Like that was really cool. So hopefully we can get something like that, giving us an epilogue of the dimensions that are fused and all that good stuff. But yeah, so don't have to be too sad. This is gonna be a lot of videos coming out. I'm sure Roundtable is gonna have a lot of videos. Sure, Slice of Otaku, like all those guys are probably gonna have plenty of stuff to keep you held over for a while until you find a new love. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the stream, and thank you guys for following us through this whole thing, because we've been covering Star since basically the beginning. So this was a huge part of the channel, and it's going to be coming to an end very soon. So yeah, thank you guys for watching our theories and supporting our theories and discussions and episode breakdowns and all that nerdy stuff. It's been a lot of fun. And now there's no cartoons out. There's no cartoons out to talk about. Steven Universe on hiatus. Still waiting for Infinity Train. Still waiting for Amphibia. Still waiting for Owl House. So, but yeah, Star is done. This is it. And Star is very special. I actually met my girlfriend because of Star, ironically enough. So it's like Star has like especially special place in my heart. But yeah, expect some more Star videos coming up throughout this week, next week. I have a couple vague ideas, some stuff I would like to talk about. But yeah, that's it. That's it for Star, guys. But hopefully I'll see you guys all in the future videos, and try not to cry too hard.